need to do anything with it, we're just tabling it.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I just,
Director Calvin?
Yes.
President Smiley?
Yes.
5-0, no action.
Hope I would say yes to my own motion.
Never knows.
Dinosaur act. Dinosaurs.
So item number 4.
Review and approve resolution 2024-10, authorizing the general manager to execute proposed employment agreement with board clerk, executive assistant, and approve changes to job title and description, recommend review, and approve by 3/5 vote.
So before you is an employment agreement for board clerk, executive assistant. The contract has been provided in the board packet, along with the job description. If you have any specific questions, we'd be happy to answer them.
Director Baker.
Yeah, kind of stated like, I guess, kind of public, but the elements of the contract, the salary, everything, I don't have any issues with at all. I do have a problem with just contracts in general. I believe the only people in the district that should have contracts are those that are actually direct reports to the directors, which would be Kelly and the fire chief. So I guess maybe it's philosophical, but I'm not gonna, vote for the contract. It's nothing against Tamara. I think she's a great employee. Again, the salary, everything in it, I don't have a problem with, but just contracts in general for other.
Point of order, he's not supposed to bring an employee's name into it. This is a position, not a person. Just let you know, Mike.
My apologies, okay. I'm done.
Okay, tomorrow.
No, we discussed this.
Yeah, we did.
No, I don't have anything.
Anthony?
I have nothing to add publicly about any named or unnamed employees. John, you're smiling because we've been on this board. We've been through that, didn't we?
We've been through all this.
Yes, I know. But I know. But I will say though that as a general, our staff has performed pretty admirably, and I really appreciate their hard work. They really have taken a lot of things on the chin, especially over water rates and everything else. So I really appreciate them being dedicated to this district, and I'm more than happy to support the contract.
Owen?
yes, I have kind of the same problem as Director Baker does. We're looking at a 5-year contract, the way I read it. And to me, if indeed it would have to be a contract, I would say 1 year by year contract, and so on. But I mean, and just like I said, you're the general manager, Scott's the fire chief, you guys should have contracts, but as far as any other employees, they shouldn't have to have a contract. That's pretty much what I got.
Okay. Public comment time? Please approach the lectern.
John Green. Mr. Baker, I meant no disrespect whatsoever. It's something that we've been through over the years.
The name's on the contract.
It shouldn't be. Contract is for a position, not a person, and it shouldn't be there. So, at any rate, having a 5-year contract in an election year just doesn't, you lose your transparency, because you don't know if you're going to be the same makeup of the board in 2 or 3 years from now, or a year from now even. So a lot can happen in that period of time. You be down the road, there's other people here making decisions, and it should be left to the board. And I also agree with the idea that besides the general manager and the fire chief, there shouldn't be any other contracts. It should be the district, you folks, employ this gentleman, he employs everybody else. That's how it works. So there shouldn't really be a contract in that position. And I do agree, the person that does the job now does a great job, but it doesn't negate the fact that you only employ one person. That's it.
Done.
Any other public comment? Not?
Excuse me, just before any motion is entertained, the government code requires that an oral summary of the compensation and benefits be given in public session. If you'd like, I can do that, or if Kelly would like to do it, just let me know, but we are required to do that before you take action, because it's an executive position.
I can read those. So
Thanks, Kelly.
So the basic terms of this agreement are as follows. The position is for the board clerk executive assistant with a proposed salary of $74,998 per year, which would be paid on regular pay periods as established by the district. Cost of living allowance of up to 4% based on consumer price index, which means if it's less than 4%, then that's what it is. It's no more than 4%. An equivalent of 40 hours to be deposited into employees' deferred compensation plan annually. The district will pay up to $1,200 per month towards employee health insurance through the district, or $300 per pay period if employee has alternate health insurance. The length of the proposed agreement is for 5 years, starting July 1 of 2024. And the last line would be, it would be effective July 1st, 2024 if approved. Those are the terms of the agreement.
Okay, you fulfill our obligation there?
Yes, that covers it. Thank you.
I make a motion to adopt resolution 2024-1010, authorizing the general manager to execute proposed employment agreement with board clerk executive assistant and approve changes of job title and description.
I'll second.
So we have a motion by Director Smiley, a second by Director Gregory. I'll have a roll call. Director Davis,
No.
Director Calvins,
Yes.
Director Smiley,
Yes.
Director Gregory,
Yes.
and Director Baker.
No.
So it passes 3-2, 0 absent.
My position finished. You're adjourned,
So now we'll adjourn to the groundwater.
Adjourn to San Miguel Community Services District Groundwater Sustainability.
Time? Time is 7:48.
Yes, thank you.
So we have no consent calendar? Expired? Yeah, we should be taking that off, sorry, but we have no consent calendar, so it just goes on to item 12.
Okay, item 12, GSA Board Action Items, Paso Basin Cooperative Committee, MOA, Amendment 2, recommended review and approved by 3/5 vote to approve the amendment as scheduled PBECC meeting.
So this item is being brought back, I forget which meeting it was at last, but essentially with no changes based on the conversation with the board, that the county and the city would be able to act as contracting agents for the PBCC, which would correct the current situation where the county is acting as the contracting agent. Previously, the board had asked to look at additional language to remedy future ventures outside of the MOA, but the board has decided to bring it back as is without that language. So if you have any questions or would like to discuss it further.
Dr. Baker?
No, I think we accomplished what we intended to do. I think the first MOA had some of the other GSAs or members in there that we didn't feel comfortable acting as agents, so limiting to the county and the city is pretty much, I think, what we agreed to do.
I agree with that. Annette?
Yes, I'm comfortable with all that.
Anthony?
Yeah.
Owen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Public comment. We have public comment and we'll have.
Public comment? Please approach the lectern as we have no podium.
Well, this is a podium.
Stand on the podium.
Oh, there you go.
See the difference?
To the item. By the way, I'm vice chair of TAG, but I'm not representing TAG tonight. I'm also, or have been a member of a committee on the basin, on the PBC basin committee, on the well monitoring, and I did attend yesterday's meeting. On this MOA, so I'd like a little clarification, just what Kelly was saying. So the way I understand it is that the county and the city of Paso are going to work together on purchasing. Is that the agreement?
After.
Finish your comment and then I'll answer.
Okay. Because if it isn't, then what I saw yesterday was interesting because in the, I have an agenda here from yesterday, so they brought up as action items that were not disclosed as supporting documents in this agenda to recommend development of RFP to retain a consultant to estimate ag water use by the ETT system. That was one. And that item, I believe there was a motion. I couldn't understand the motion as to what went on there, but there was a deal that the committee did not have the current proposal for this ET system that only came in the night before the meeting. So there was some confusion there as to what was going on. Mr. Baker had some comments on that. And so that wasn't properly handled, I believe, yesterday. There was also a presentation for the annual submittal of the water report. And what I found interesting was the draft went out on February 21st, and I assume you guys got that. But, and then, so there was a review period till March 15th. The only public comments were by Graywall for the whole county. So what I found interesting is there were no GSA comments. So that indicated to me that either they had already had an opportunity to do their input into this before the public draft came out, or in your case, I don't know if you guys even had a chance to review and approve it. Was there a vote by your board to approve that?
No.
Yeah. So, and I don't know whether that was a 100% vote supposed to be or a majority vote. So I'm confused over how this whole thing is working out. So this annual report is due April 1st. So, you know, this is a typical, we'll just wait till the last 3 or 4 days before the deadline and then try to rush it through. And it's a terrible report, in my opinion. But I just found it interesting that you guys and maybe others didn't actually review the report, which was fairly lengthy. The other thing,
Mr. President, his time is.
Did you conclude your remarks, sir?
okay, so on this MOA, what I found, if you don't mind giving me a minute or two, is that based on what I saw yesterday is the board did not even know what some of these proposed RFPs were that were put up for discussion and consideration yesterday. And what that tells me is if you allow SLO County by themselves to do the purchasing on this, that this is what it's going to be. It's going to be how they do it, who they want to hire, and they'll come up with the agreements. So there was a lot of confusion over that.
We'll have to conclude it now.
So,
Okay, thank you, sir, really appreciate it. Any other remarks that you have submitted in writing to our general manager, please?
I'm sorry.
Let's see, if you have any more comments or questions, please submit them to our general manager. Any other public comment?
Excuse me, Mr. President. If he has any comments, they should be submitted to our representative,
Well,
Mr. Baker.
So if.
He's the alternate.
Yeah, but if he has comments for the district. Then they should be submitted to me. He can submit them to Mr. Baker, there's no problem.
Yeah.
Spend it all.
So my question on how the Paso City and the county works together, I would submit to Mr. Baker.
yes,
Yeah, right.
or submit to the whole board. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yes, copy.
So, so the process in general for what was approved at the PDCC meeting last night, and what would be approved in the future, is that the PDCC board elects to approve an RFP. The RFP goes out for consultants, similar to here, and then those results come back, and depending on the pre-approved action from the PDCC, either that contract would be, or that consultant would be approved by the PDCC, or would be approved by the county. I can tell you right now that everything that happens at the PDCC is reviewed at the staff level by the staff member for each GSA. So in our particular case, it's myself and Josh Reynolds, who is our district engineer. So in the point about the annual report not having a bunch of comments, a lot of those comments were addressed before it was circulated to the public, because it was already taken care of at the staff level. Whether it's the city taking care of it or the county taking care of it, they have purchasing policies similar to ours where they are bound to a predetermined trajectory to approve something. The county has limits that are higher than ours on what has to go out to bid, but that's their policy. It meets all state laws, all obviously county laws. So nothing is, falling through the cracks. Everything is being reviewed by all the GSAs. All the GSAs have an option, or opportunity rather, to review everything that's being contracted for.
I've got a comment on our response to that.
Public comment is closed.
Pardon?
Public comment is closed unless Kelly wants to answer a question.
Now he's brought up new issues here.
That's up to you if you want to reopen public comment.
One more brief, please.
One issue, so if I understood Kelly, he said, well, the staff, we don't know who the staff is for the PVCC, really. I've asked several times in the meetings. And also the staff of each of the GSAs, we don't know. But what Kelly just said was that, oh, well, the staff had reviewed this draft before it was made public. But each GSA needs to have a public notice, public meeting for the public to have input to each GSA. And I don't think that happened. At least not with you guys, it didn't happen. I know that, and I'm not criticizing you, I'm just saying. And I don't know on the other GSAs how they handle it. But if it was all just reviewed by staff in the back room, then that's a violation of the Brown Act.
Okay, we need to have a motion to adopt.
I just have one more question. So could you, I guess, like, regarding the GSA and the relationship with Josh Reynolds and yourself, how does, because I was kind of taken by surprise last night, by the question that Mr. Murray asked about, did our board, review the annual report, which we really couldn't because it came out the day before our meeting, and then here we are a month later, so I'm sorry to talk about it, but how does that work? So the GSA, San Miguel, we are GSA, and there's you, and then Josh Reynolds. How do you guys work within the GSA?
So it works very similar to how this works right here. So you, Director Baker, are on the board. I'm the general manager. Basically, I, as the general manager of this organization, deal with everything on the back end, and Josh is there basically with me on the back end, going through all this stuff with other staff. So on the PVCC, you can look at the PVCC board as this board, and the GSA staff for the 5 different agencies as all the employees of this. So in our particular case, Josh Reynolds, who is our district engineer from Water Systems Consulting, and myself are the staff for our GSA. I don't know who the staff are for EPC and Shannon San Juan. If I saw them, I would tell you who it was, but I'm really bad with names. So like for Paso, it's Christopher Alakiel, who's usually at those meetings, and Matt Tomlinson, I can't get it. But basically they review everything on that side. So everything, all the reports that come out, all the RFPs that come through, all the contracts that come through are all reviewed by staff.
All right, so personally, I would like to have some information back from the staff on this stuff, like the annual report. Did you guys have any comments to the annual report?
So they were minor comments. They really didn't have anything to do with the district. So they had to do with other issues outside of the district.
Okay.
But as far as the annual report, yes, Josh did submit some questions for clarification and some corrections.
But they didn't have anything to do with the district?
No.
But yet, he's a paid consultant of the district?
So his job as far as our GSAs is to protect us. Same as my job is to protect us. So he reviews these things because they do have to do with our GSA, but our part of that report is fairly small because we're obviously fairly small. A lot of the things that are in that report relate to areas that are, well away from here, but they still have to do with the basin, which relates to our GSA, which is part of the PVCC, which is, it all relates.
Right, well, I'll speak for myself, but I, as a director, I would like to know what that input is that you guys are giving back to the PVCC or whoever on some of these RPA that are going out.
Need to conclude the discussion.
So in the future, if you'd like to, I can send you what I have. I meet with our engineers every week
Right.
for all of our different projects, so.
Relating specifically to the PVCC.
Yeah. So if anything, I guess my point is if things come up that would be of interest or informational purposes for you, then I'd be happy to share them.
Okay.
Still need to have a public comment, a public meeting. I mean, I know it's already gone past, but
So in regard to that, if I might take 2 more seconds, is that generally the annual report has always come in an inopportune time for this board to take action before it actually was approved. It always is due April 1st. I'm not quite sure what the repercussion is for not getting it on April 1st, but sometimes we have approved it afterwards, sometimes we haven't approved it at all.
All right. Good. Do we have a motion to recommend review and approve by 3/5 vote?
So moved.
Collins,
I'll second it.
have a motion on the floor to approve the PVC MOA amendment number 2 by Director Calvin, second by Director Smiley. Have a vote. Director Davis?
No.
Director Baker?
Yes.
Director Calvin?
Yes.
Director Gregory?
Yes.
Director Smiley?
Yes.
Passes 4-1, 0 absence. Reconvene.
Reconvene to the San Miguel Community Services District Board of Directors.
good.
Time?
Time is 8:06.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This section is intended for an opportunity for the board members to make brief announcements, request information from staff, request future agenda items, and report on their own activities related to the district business. No action is to be taken until an item is placed on a future agenda. Dr. Baker?
No comment.
Okay. Nothing?
I have a couple of things. First off, I would like to thank the deputy from the sheriff's department for being here tonight and staying through this entire meeting. You know, I really appreciate your patience. Honestly, I appreciate you being here. I wish you were out patrolling. I know though that we have received a lot of unfortunate, I don't know what you want to call it. There's been so much misinformation and other garbage that's gone around this town that the sheriff has to sit through these meetings is unfortunately really tragic. I really wish that our sheriff's department were able to go out and patrol our community instead of having to watch out for whatever may happen here at these meetings. So I want to thank you again for being here. Okay, but I do want to just say that. The other thing is I wanted to bring up the Form 700s. I have a question in essence, and that is that I don't know if our members who are in the, I guess that's a legal thing, the GSA members, if they have filed or if they need to file the Form 700s. I know the other agencies have filed 700 forms for them being on the Paso Basin Cooperative Committee.
So we have.
Okay, good, that's what.
So we have and we do.
Good.
And that's not done in-house, that's
Okay.
done by,
The county administers the PVCC 700 forms.
Perfect. And I heard that, I was like, oh, you know, better ask to make sure that no one gets caught with that fine. There are though several people who have served on this board who have, I'm afraid, have not filed a Form 700, you know, especially for leaving office. And honestly, I think that, you know, with the amount of statements that have gone around this community about this district, you know, potential corruption, all this other like nonsense, I think that people who have served on this board who did not follow Form 700, that we should probably file a complaint on that.
they do, you can talk about it later, but it's done automatically.
Okay, so, that's, and then the third thing is I would like more clarification. I spoke with Mr. Dodge briefly about legal dumping across the community, just to figure out what agency, you know, people should be calling and checking in when it comes to those things, because I just want to make sure that that's getting taken care of.
So
You're smiling a little bit.
I'm always smiling. Just for general information, if you come across illegal dumping, then you can either call the county or you can call us. The county came and picked up what you reported the other day.
Oh, perfect.
But we will pick it up also.
Okay, cool. I agree.
We don't encourage illegal dumping because it costs
Oh, I know, but,
San Miguel money, but it doesn't need to be out there.
Cross Canyons or River Road.
Pardon me?
Cross Canyon.
The entire thing?
Big parking lot.
Yeah.
There's always stuff there.
and then I have two last things I'd like to bring up. One is also with that discussion about, different methods. I do want to talk about the benefit assessments, because that could be a way to help lower, rates for our ratepayers by having other people pay into the system, very proportional here and all that kind of stuff. And the final thing I want to bring up, Director Gregory, I know there was a comment about, your involvement with the district and also about what you pay, and if I'm not mistaken, you do not have to respond to this at all. But since you are a business owner, you do pay property taxes into this community, and you probably pay
Quite a bit.
very, very significant, large portion that many people complain about your business. Quite frankly, I appreciate us having businesses in our district because they help support our fire department through property taxes. And so I do, and that was actually in Municipal Finance 101. Without businesses, you can't survive. So
Yeah.
I appreciate all of our businesses and them paying their taxes. That's all I had. Thank you.
Davis?
No, well, I do have it.
Yeah.
Well, it's dumping, but I see there's always trucks dumping into our perk pond. Are we getting anything for that?
We had this discussion before, but yes, we do get paid for that.
Yeah. Well, I was talking about, these outhouse companies putting the liquid, and you said in a tank, but I'm talking about the dry matter that's going in our perk ponds.
Well, we're not putting anything into perk ponds, but we do get compensated for companies bringing wastewater to us.
Yeah, but what I'm,
I guess I don't understand your question.
I've seen it with my own eyes. You got those piles out there, and I've seen trucks go in there and dump in the perk pond.
That's not a percolation pond, that's a drying bed.
All right,
And
same thing.
we do have a company that brings their vacuum truck to us, and we get paid for them dumping there.
Yeah, okay,
So it's a net positive revenue for the district.
yeah. Well, that was just what I was wondering. So, you did good, you answered my question.
The last time, but I'm glad you appreciate it. Is there any other?
I have one last thing I just want to say. Director Baker, again, I actually like and prefer your method for the 218. And again, I just want to say my concern has been the fact that I know there's been a lot of misinformation that's gone around this community, and the people who are supporting it, your method, I hope they continue to support it, because if they turn around and try to stab you or anyone else in the back regarding this, saying that, oh, let's go for it, and all of a sudden, no, we got, we'll stop it, I'm gonna be very unhappy, okay? And so, that's been my biggest concern for this entire meeting, is having that happen.
Yeah, well, we can kind of set up a mechanism to
So, yeah, if we can figure out something